South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson is here with that. Congressman, thank you for coming on. We have a quote from you that you say, quote, calls from the left to pack the court are radical attempts to gain a political advantage, end quote. Can you tell us a little bit about this bill aimed at capping the Supreme Court justices at 9?
We've got a great conservative court, and they have issued a series of great conservative decisions in recent years. Boy, that has upset the liberals. And just as you mentioned, there are some folks on that side, AOC, Jerry Nadler, others, who just cannot imagine allowing that conservative court to exist. They have introduced legislation to add 4 more justices, or at least they did when President Biden was president. That was a terrible idea. We should not have the size of the Supreme Court bounce up and down just because people don't like the decisions they render. And so Ted Cruz and I have introduced legislation that would set that Supreme Court number at 9. We should get that done now while Republicans control the House and the Senate and the White House, so that the next time the Democrats come into power, this won't be one of the tricks that they can use in their bag of tricks.
It's incredible, of course, to see the impact and influence of the Supreme Court, the separations of powers always at stake and on full display, by the way, when those Supreme Court rulings come down. So we'll watch that. Also, you're busy, sir, introducing another bill. This one would allow President Trump to repurchase the Panama Canal and put it under U.S. control. The bill would authorize the president, in coordination with the Secretary of State, to, quote, initiate and conduct negotiations with appropriate counterparts of the government of the Republic of Panama to reacquire the Panama Canal. Congressman Johnson, what would be the reasoning behind this bill?
Well, a few days ago, I was having a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with President Trump. We talked about how important the Panama Canal is. In fact, 40% of all containers shipped out of our country go through the Panama Canal. And China, right now, Chinese companies control the ports on both ends of the canal, both on the Atlantic and the Pacific side. We simply cannot allow our adversary to have that kind of control over a critical American shipping lane. We control the Panama Canal until 1999. In 1977, Jimmy Carter had incredibly unwisely cut a treaty to give it back to Panama. And frankly, Donald Trump has been incensed that the Panamanians have not been treating us well since. I don't think there is any harm at all in allowing a great negotiator like Donald Trump to engage in an exploration. Now, maybe ultimately the Panama Canal isn't for sale, but he's a deal maker. Let's give him a shot to go make it happen.
President Trump has explained his reasoning for wanting to retake the Panama Canal. We'll play that for our viewers now.
The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
So again, that was the moment, the inaugural address. You were recently with the president in Mar-a-Lago per your discussions. Did he expand on that point?
He is very concerned about the influence of the Chinese Communist Party. And I'll say there is no one on the planet in the last 10 years who has done more to open people's eyes to that threat than Donald Trump. For too long, our country has been sleepwalking through this threat. Every day, the leaders in China wake up and try to figure out how to destabilize the American government. We have not been paying that much attention to them, and we need to. President Trump saw how concerns about Houthi violence reduced traffic through the Suez Canal by 65%. He sees the huge trade deficit we have with the rest of the world. He sees that our traffic that goes through the Panama Canal is largely American energy, think liquefied natural gas, and American ag products. Those will be the 2 areas that will lead our charge toward killing this trade deficit. If we can't count on the Panama Canal, we cannot sell more American goods.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.